The market says that the UFC generates well over $1 billion in revenue. They're only paying up 178 million of that to their fighters. That number should be closer to about $400 to $500 million to their fighters.
Yeah.
And there's a huge discrepancy there. And, you know, let's just use percentages. It's 17.5% as compared to the NBA, which is 52, 48, which is the MLB, 54, which is the NFL, 50, which is the NHL.
Wow.
And in 2011, there's precedence for it. In 2011, the NBA players joined together. They said, "Fuck you, we're not playing, we're not hooping." Obviously, they've got millions of dollars to sit on, and they can, you know, it's a much different situation. But nevertheless, they struck. They had a lockout. It lasted about half a season. The players got together. They had a representative, which I would hope would be me or someone like me. It doesn't have to be me, to negotiate on their behalf. And they got what they wanted. It wasn't so much about like payout. It was other components. It was like luxury tax and roster pay.
Okay, yeah.
But it was still bargaining tactics.
Right.
Now, when I look at the UFC and I know the finances behind it, they just sold to a parent company. And when you sell a company, and I know this because I'm about to buy one, you have debt obligations. You don't just pay $1 billion up front. Like if it's $1 billion sale, you may pay $200 million up front, and the other $800 million you have to carry over 5 years.
Okay. Yeah.
You have to pay that back.
Right.
And the UFC is paying that back right now.
Yep.
So they have these massive debt obligations. So as much as I respect the UFC as a business, I look at it as a business owner. And if the fighters can get together and they say, we will not promote your product because we are the product.
Right.
And you will not be able to generate revenue with your fight nights and your pay-per-views. Within 3 months, they will not be able to pay back their debt obligations. They will have to come to the negotiating table.
Yeah.
And so knowing all this, I want to fucking regurgitate it out to the UFC roster and